I've been watching, along with you, this fellow by the name of Alvin Bragg. He's the Manhattan DA. And I don't think he knows, well, sometimes it looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm sure he does. I guess. It doesn't seem like it, though. And you got to ask yourself, why? What's going on with this? You know, sometimes you find yourself, at least I do, I don't know about you, but I find myself in the position of thinking, I must not know what's going on here. I must not be, they must be doing something I don't know about. Certainly it can't be this disorganized. Come on. There must be something I don't know about. That's what I keep telling myself. Well, I'm not so sure. Now, up till now, I had some very serious problems about Jim Jordan and the Judiciary Committee and coming to New York and basically going after Bragg because they were alleging he was using his prosecutorial powers politically. So what did they do? They come and they have this meeting politically to embarrass him politically. Now, that doesn't mean that you might not agree with it. You might think, well, it's a good idea that they're doing it. Fine. But what you have to understand and grasp and feel for the first time is that this is, in fact, political. Yes. This is what all of this is. It's not just with Trump. I will explain more with Mark Pomerantz, his other attorney. That's for another video, so be on the lookout. But what this was just absolutely, put it this way, it's one of those things where you're never going to hear Trump detractors ever say this. You're never going to hear people talk about this regarding Bragg. But a lot of folks are saying, wow, you're really doing this? You're really falling for this? Wow. That's I mean, look, these other cases, what are you going to do? But remember the cases that are involved. Okay, you've got the New York case. You've got the Fulton County, Georgia case. This is involving the Stop the Steal. And there may be something to that. We'll see. After that rather interesting foreman or foreperson, remember her? That was the weirdest. Remember her? She says, I don't know. Maybe. We don't know. Anyway, that's that case. You have two cases involving January 6th with this Jack Smith case. You've got Trump, who might have violated some January 6th seditious conspiracy, believe it or not, type of case. I know that may sound odd to you, but it's not. That's number one. Number two, his Mar-a-Lago document case under the obstruction of justice. We'll talk about that later. So that's three. You also then have Letitia James, who is the Attorney General for New York. She's going more after a dare I say a civil type of case. And then you finally have the E. Jean Carroll case. And politically, this is the one that will crush you because of the sexual assault allegation and the particular facts that we believe you're going to be hearing. Okay? Okay. Now, a couple of things here. What's happening in New York was clearly, obviously, for lack of a better word, so political. More so than usual. You have this case which is just, for lack of a better word, incredible. You've got this falsified business records that was a misdemeanor, where the statute of limitation had lapsed some time. But in order to make it a felony with perhaps a longer statute of limitations, you tack on this little factual basis to it, where you say that the reason for these falsified business records was to conceal or to perform or to commit a crime. And that crime, it is alleged, is going to be something akin to federal. Now, as silly as you may think this is, And as silly as the detractors may think this is, I'm telling you that there's a lot to this. Believe me. You may not think it. You may not want to believe it. It may bother you to no end, but there's a lot to this case. A lot to it in terms of being convicted. Now, whether it's jail time, probably not, by virtue of the fact that the parameters, the circumstance. I'll take you through the notion of it. Is there a chance for jail? Well, not really. And the reason why is because he would be a first-time offender. It's a nonviolent event. We don't have we would have sentencing guidelines per se, but, and not to mention the Secret Service. You're going to put a Secret Service agent in? No, it doesn't, no. But at that particular point, they want people want or the prosecutor and others who are politically antithetical to him want there to be an actual prosecution and a conviction, even though it may mean nothing in the long run. Just like within an impeachment, they like to say he was impeached, even though the impeachment was not elevated to that of a conviction. It was just at that level. But what's interesting to note in particular is that Alvin Bragg has got to be, and nobody will say this. Nobody will say, hey, there goes Alvin Bragg. Good for you, Alvin. Good for you. Because this is a case that Cy Vance, his predecessor DA, wanted nothing to do with. The feds wanted nothing to do with this, especially after that Michael Cohen business. The Alvin Bragg wanted nothing to do with it initially until Mark Pomerantz wrote a book, which we'll get to later in another video as to why that is a problem. But after he wrote a book basically saying this is the worst case ever. Not only that, you have Michael Cohen, you had two lawyers. One who basically said Michael Cohen is a liar, and another lawyer who would be able to show through a document that Michael Cohen told him specifically, I was not reimbursed by Trump. I paid for this. I did it. So you've got all of this mess. It's the worst case ever that probably will satisfy and withstand a motion to dismiss based upon statute of limitations or because of other things. But you watch what happens. And I'm telling you one thing. I'm going to leave you with this. No matter how many people tell you, oh, it's ridiculous. That's the worst case in the world. That's garbage. It's garbage. It doesn't mean anything. No matter how many people tell you that, I am telling you it is not beyond the realm of possibility. It is not illegal per se. It may be politically disadvantageous. It may be a lot of other things, but it is not against the law to bring these charges. Let me clear that up. And don't think that it is beyond the realm of possibility for the jury to convict him. And I've been saying, and a lot of folks have been saying, count on it. Look at the jury, look at the venue, look who the defendant is, and look at the facts of the case. And they may seem arcane, but sometimes the fact that crimes are technical, it makes people feel more apt to find, I should say people, jurors, more apt to find them guilty by virtue of that. All right? So stay tuned. Thank you for watching this. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like this video. Please be notified of new and upcoming videos. And whatever you do, I beg, I implore, I entreat you to comment as you see fit.